everybody. We are back. It's trying to keep up with Allison and Nilo. Wow. I feel like our energy is maybe I need more coffee. Um, but
I-
I don't know, man.
I'm I'm I think I'm feeling good. I'm just like the true trying to keep up kind of day. I've been busy with
Yeah.
clients and good things are happening. Got a lot of good, a lot of things on our end that are got some submissions into FDA, got an appeal in with the FDA, got some EU MDR
Mm.
stuff. So moving and shaking, but hard to have the global scrambling for the global picture here.
Yeah. Yeah. I also am about to embark on a bunch of travel, and I always feel like when you're about to do that, it's about like your weeks just get compressed, and yeah,
Are you
it's like there's
fun or
no
work or both?
I mean, work is fun for me, so
Get the fuck
it's
out of here.
I
Gross. My only my only fault is I try too hard.
as I try too hard. I just love my work so much. No, I really do. I like my work. So next week I'm off to Boston. So I'm gonna go to Med Device Boston, which is an Informa conference. Super excited about it. And then Lindsay Deneen has asked me to be the keynote speaker for the Leadership Summit on the second day. So I think we've talked about this because I've been invited to talk about how to prioritize when everything feels important, and I'm like probably the worst person to ask, but I think
I love that
therefore,
they I love that they invited you to talk about it though.
yeah, I think because I have so like my mind is just there's a million tabs open. It's like that saying like I have a million tabs open and one of them's playing music and I can't figure out which one. And
That's a
so
saying or is that just my life?
that's just yeah, that's just my
Yeah,
life. And
it's
so
happening right now actually.
I'm like, okay, I will. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try and record it so I can get some good, little snippets or something to
Speaking of
show on the socials.
Speaking of Lindsay, I am actually going to be in Philly next week for a Project
Hey,
MedTech startup symposium, which will be a really good time. And I think they're still taking registration. So Philly area people, if you have time on Wednesday next week, I think it's a good event. Megan,
I've heard it was
my
amazing
employee,
last
yeah,
year.
Megan and
Yeah.
Holly, who both, well, Megan works for me all the time, and Holly does work for us, and she's great. Both went last year and said it was great. And also
Yeah.
the Project MedTech folks are awesome. Um, I got to go to the Midwest Pediatric Consortium meeting in Cincinnati earlier this year, and they helped like run it, and it was awesome. They get good
Yes,
people to show up.
they do, and I feel like they're all wonderful humans.
Yeah,
Like Dwayne Mancini, what? Like,
yeah.
how are you
Don't
so
turn off
cool?
don't turn off this podcast, but also go listen to Dwayne's.
I'll go
It's
so
very good.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. You could
and
listen to
also
it at the same
Lindsay's.
time. And
Yeah,
Lindsay's. Yeah, I was
yeah.
just on hers and she's like the light of a human. Um, do we have and travel. I'm going to Vegas then. It was a
Oh, fun.
surprise, but it's not a surprise. My husband's taking me there for my birthday. It's an early birthday, and then I come back and get ready for Okra. There's going to be an Irvine Orange County Regulatory Affairs Network, and so I'm going to be there with Mark Duval, and we're going to be
Somewhere.
talking about to pre-sub or not to pre-sub. That is the question. It's going to be very fun. And then immediately after is RAPS, which is in North Carolina,
Charlotte.
Charlotte.
I
So going to be
think
hanging out with Caroline Rim and Melissa Hall. We're shacking up together in an Airbnb. So
that's awesome.
it's going to be the party house. Or
Yeah.
not really. We're gonna probably be in face masks and in bed
Yeah,
by 9.
that's a party. Just a different kind
That's
of
true.
party.
It's like when people say, go big or go home. I'm like, no, I really just want to go home. I just
I
want
want
to
to do
go lay
both.
down. Anyway, do we have jokes today?
Um, I grabbed one in a scramble, and I will say these types of jokes are usually wildly offensive, or somewhat offensive. This one seemed safe. So,
Okay.
what do you call a man with no shins? Tony. toe, knee. No shits.
I like how you, like typically you do have to slow things down for me when you tell me the answers to yours because like it was like the arms and the sleeveys one that was like
Yeah,
that one's lost on me. Um, that's that Tony.
yeah,
Tony.
yeah, yeah. There you
That's
go.
actually, there's probably a medical device for that. Just saying. All right,
A
my
shin
joke,
implant.
shin implants, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's important. What do you get if you put a duck in a cement mixer? You get quacks in a pavement. Right. I really hope some people use these, Like I hope that people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna share this with my 2-year-old because I'll probably get a
Yeah,
chuckle."
yeah. That's 5-year-old max audience.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Um, let's dive in to the new de novos, which is not yet up on the de novo page, but everybody talking about it. So, do you wanna take it?
Sure. Let me give me a second here to. It's an automatic like blood draw machine, and I had it pulled up on what it was.
It's
It
okay.
was
It's called
yeah,
the
Aletta.
Aletto. Yeah.
Aletto or Aletta? Is this a
Aletta.
girl?
Sorry,
Yeah,
Aletta.
it's a girl blood
It's
draw machine, not a
yeah.
boy blood draw machine.
Or it
That's your
could it does what it
that's your
doesn't need to
Italian.
be
That's your
gendered.
Italian. That's your Italian for the day. And word ends in O. It's male gender.
Vitestro. Vitestro's Aletta.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the first robotic phlebotomy system, which I feel like I've seen so many of these things on like Instagram and stuff with like somebody putting their arm out and then like like putting the needle in and it looks terrifying and also I'm like actually I would probably prefer that over some of the people I've had to get my blood. I used to get my blood drawn all the time because when you're pregnant and I was like geriatric pregnant. I know they don't call it that anymore, but they had me in some clinical study as well, which I love, like to see like the number I think they were looking for like microplastics in my blood. I'm like, I'm probably rife with them. And so I was having my blood drawn so frequently and which I don't mind as long as I turn away. Otherwise I will pass out.
I
And
watch it go in.
do you?
Yeah.
Oh, you crazy. Like I can't watch it and I had one guy who was just like I was like, "Don't use this vein, use the other arm." And he's like, "No, I can do it." And I was like, "I don't, it's really hard to find." And he's like, he had the confidence that I was like, I should have been like, "I don't trust you." And I shouldn't have trusted him. Like, I probably would have been much happier with Vitestro's Aletta device because I was very bruised.
I have, well, I have on my left arm, I have um, a vessel that's like, looks like it'll be very easy and it collapses
That's
right
it.
away. So I have to
Yeah,
like tell them, don't use that one. I know it looks like it's there, it's not.
it's a lie.
But it's a lie. Um, but I thought this one was two things on this. So one of my professors at University of Pittsburgh, George Stetton, he I think like invented like the technology to do like ultrasound kind of imaging at like portable and on the arm. Like I think that was like he had a medical device for this like way back in like 2001, like forever ago. And so that was always really cool. But the other thing that I thought was really interesting about this when they're talking about everything it does, it uses NIR light and ultrasound to identify the veins, distinguishing it from the arteries. It inserts and disposes the needle. It changes the collection tubes, and it puts on the bandage. It
It's
does
like
the whole
one-stop
thing.
shop.
Yeah,
Does the whole
I'm
thing.
like, oh, this is like a whole actual robotic phlebotomist, not just like a blood draw thing. It's like does the whole thing, which I thought was extremely creepy. I also, speaking of robots, I saw a video of a robot in China breaking Usain Bolt's record in the 100 meter, and then
Think I
but
saw it too, but it
it
looks
didn't.
so
It
crazy.
looks ridiculous, and it didn't know how to stop. It runs like Forrest Gump directly into the wall, but it terrifying. These are the
So funny to me though. Those videos like make me cry laugh,
uh,
like
more robots doing medical stuff and less and dancing and less sprinting faster than Usain Bolt. That's terrifying.
Oh man. I I don't know. I love devices like this. I feel like not the sprinting one. Again, it says it may help address growing phlebotomist shortage. I don't know if you do this too, but like whenever we go to FDA with these pre-subs, a lot of diseases we're looking like down this tunnel of like, oh my gosh, that there's not the number of people that we need to treat these diseases, or there's like very special, there are specialty clinics that are very rare to, throughout the US that, hey, wouldn't it be nice if there was something that could be in more, just like smaller clinics, or if you didn't have the phlebotomist, like you have the robot, you can go and get this done. So I don't know,
Have you
maybe
had
we'll see these at like CVS or something at some point, like we see with those
terrifying?
blood pressure
Yeah.
cuff,
Yeah. Although
machines that are
yeah.
standing up. So
Um
yeah,
those blood pressure machines that we found out are just terribly inaccurate at all
yeah.
those the CVS's.
Man, I loved him
Um
as a kid. I used
oh,
to
me
just go
too.
in there
Every
and just
time.
like, let's see
Yeah.
both arms. Let's try this now.
Yeah. Can I fit my leg that high?
Yes. I think we were similar kids, Milo. I think
Yeah,
you and I probably had
we're
similar.
realizing this.
All right, so the Aletta, not the
Yeah,
Aletto, the Aletta. Congrats to them. And let's go on to I didn't we saw new PMAs, HDEs. There was a cool new 510K that I saw, and I love this specific product code PHL because when I teach my E-Star class with SDSU, I use the Adelante X as like the one that everyone in the class turns into the regulatory director of a new exoskeleton company, and
nice.
PHL is for lower extremity exoskeletons, and they have to think about what sort of testing goes into the E-Star and like what they're going to need to include throughout the file, which has gotten way, larger since the human factors and all the cybersecurity. So since I've been teaching the class, eStar has grown. And this device is also by the Adelante, or sorry, the Wondercraft is the company. They're based out of Paris, and it is product code PHL. And they did 3 clinical studies for this, and is for patients with spinal cord injury. With they, yeah, I'm just looking at the massive clinical studies they did with paraplegia and tetraplegia, and I think what's unique about it is it helps patients go from a sitting position, like in their wheelchair, and then so that they can stand. So it's for
That's cool.
rehabilitation, but also people, I think there's also folks that might have stroke or spinal cord injury. So yeah, really congrats. I love
That's
me some
awesome.
exoskeletons. I also love that review team at FDA. They're, I don't know, it seems like this was a de novo ages ago, and more companies have submitted exoskeletons, and I'm just like, what a cool thing. These people, able to stand up and walk again. So
There's some cool that's such yeah, because there's interesting the whole like robotics and exoskeleton stuff too, because there's a lot of stuff that's not full exoskeleton where it's supposed to be there to help you like train or size prosthetic or do gait things or like rehab for post stroke and things like that where the FDA's regulations on them are very different depending on what you're using for, which is true for everywhere. But these exoskeletons are so complicated but helpful. They're just cool devices. I feel like a lot of it's what you think of when you think medical device. It's an exoskeleton robot kind of thing.
yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. And I realized I learned about this through Maria Ida Iacono. She's ex-FDA, and she's the RAQA for this company for
Cool.
yeah, Wondercraft.
Get her on
And
the pod.
I know, I was just thinking like, and and I liked her post. She said the first feeling she felt after getting clearance was exhaustion. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. There are times when I'm like, it's like getting a publication. If you're in science, you're like, it's like the science has been done so long ago, and we finally did it. We finally got the clearance, or like it's like, ugh. So anyway, it's self-balancing as well, so people can. It says bringing upright, hands-free mobility to everyday life. Standing at a kitchen counter, reaching for something on a shelf, looking at your partner, family member, or a friend in the eyes while standing. So
So
pretty
yeah,
dope. Yeah.
Paul in the chat mentioned it's a really good point. This would also potentially help nursing home staff, who strain their backs for overweight seniors, like, just allowing them to get up on their own. And then even if they step out of the exoskeleton, it's a huge amount of like, you're not throwing up dead weight from, wheelchairs or beds. So that's a really good point, Paul. And well, yeah, damn it.
Wrong choice.
My bad. I
Wrong
thought
choice of
about it.
word.
I thought about it immediately too. I was hoping it would go past.
I won't let it slide.
You're the
No, but
worst.
that's so true. Like I feel I mean, clearly I feel like there's been a lot of exoskeleton talk in like Department of War or whatever they are, Department of Defense, and like use of these for soldiers for like so they can stand for longer, walk for longer. Um and but it's like when you think about the things for people on factory lines or I totally agree, Paul, like these like nursing home staff folks that it is really hard to lift people or like even in I think of the pit, right? The show, like moving people from different beds or trying to like they are exhausted from standing. So if there's something that can
you,
like take
you
some of that pressure off or even surgeons.
you mentioned helping people stand on a factory line longer. What a dystopian society! Like just like
This
hey,
is great. That's true.
instead
That's
of like
true.
giving you a break, we're gonna give you an exoskeleton so you can stand and work longer.
No, actually, probably they're just gonna replace people with the robots, which is,
Robots.
that's even
The
more
Usain Bolt
dystopian.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this. I hope that one's not putting my car together because that one,
Talk to
we're all
Elon.
gonna die. Uh,
um,
all right, let's move on. That's
yeah.
yeah, new interesting 510K. All right, there's been I feel like a bunch of stuff came out in the last 24 hours about AI stuff. So do you want to talk about the new discussion paper? I think Annie Saha was the one who put it out. I get a lot of my reg
Yeah.
intel from her.
Yeah, Annie definitely. I saw her post and I lost hang on real quick. What's his name? Also put out Rick Abramson. I saw his kind of
Yeah, yeah,
post.
yeah.
He did, and his post actually had a really good summary of kind of the new policy and what they were putting out. I thought it was good, but yeah, basically the FDA released a discussion paper, which I can't remember the last time they did this. It's not a policy, it's not a guidance, it's more of just like a, hey, this is how we're thinking about things. What do you guys think? And it's open for comment till the middle of October. I think it's like October 18th or 19th. So we'll post it in the links, and it's definitely worth reading over. But it's asking, it's for Gen AI enabled medical devices, a request for feedback. It's asking people to kind of comment on how the FDA should think about risk assessments, pre-market evaluation, how Gen AI differs from conventional AI ML, changing or variable outputs, performance evaluations, where there might be reference standards. And I think it's going to be, really how do we validate an algorithm whose outputs aren't deterministic? And I think it, I do like that, there's been a lot of weird stuff in this space from the FDA, but I think I like that the FDA is thinking ahead and trying to gather opinions on this because it's very clear to me that this is every, we work with, both of us work with a lot of startups and all the funding is going toward companies that have some sort of AI in them right now. So it's like companies are throwing it in there. So the FDA is kind of figuring out how to regulate that space. And I think the US is ahead of the game actually when we look at other geographies across the world. So it's like, I don't know that this actually answers any of the question, but I'm glad that they're, you know, putting out the please help
The
us.
feelers. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Let's talk about it.
crowdsourcing some information. It's good. I think when they crowdsource though at the government level, you know who's going to be the loudest voices in the room will be the Gen AI companies. So I worry that the patient health and you know advocacy type stuff will get drowned out, but we'll see. I don't want to be too cynical about it. I'm glad it's the right step forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyone who's not following Annie or Rick on LinkedIn, they should be. I feel like that's like out the way that FDA is now putting out more information.
Oh,
Because
oh, for
weirdly,
sure.
like Instagram, there's been just kind of a radio silence. They're putting a lot of stuff out
I
about
think
like
it's because we
food and
started making
sunscreen.
fun of Chad.
Maybe. Oh,
I
Chad. We're
think we
so
hurt their
sorry,
feel.
Chad. Like, there was
We
no,
hurt his feelings.
bro. But you and I both love us some LinkedIn. So, that's where everyone's turning. Um, let's talk about the reclassification. So there's been 51 entries in reclassifications since 2013, and 8 of them are already in 2026. So I know there's been lots of talk, and I think there were no 3 last year in 2025, and now they're ramping up. So there's 8 of them. Um, I think partially this is, the reaction to trying to, what was the 10 to 1 or whatever it was of like, let's
Yeah.
get rid of 10
Well,
regulations for every one we create. But I don't think this is like getting rid of regulations. This is just like changing the
down.
classification of these,
Well,
yeah, down classifying them.
there was also the executive order or some sort of policy they tried to push through in uh, the waning days of the first Trump administration, where someone tried to downclassify like 100 different product codes right at the end, and they rescinded the whole thing for the most part. But a lot of these were on that original list too. So I think it's kind of now, hey, let's do it. Let's go through the actual process and get them downclassified.
Yeah.
Um,
So the first one, the optical diagnostic devices for melanoma detection, I think we've known about that one for a while because the dermasensor device came out, and then there were like 2 PMAs, I think like Melifine, and there was another one. And so they downclassified product code OYD. There's the electrical impedance spectrometers, stimulator bone growth for that's non-invasive, which I think was also what's the name of the device? The belt, the Osteo Boost that was
yeah, the
like,
Acibist, yeah.
yeah, super cool device. I've actually featured both of those on my on Blue Stocking Health, but and I think changing that from class 3 to class 2 also makes a lot of sense. So these are not de novo automatic reclassifications, but based on the de novo that somebody else did, there was a class 3 product code that FDA was like, okay, now with this, I think we should downclassify the class 3 products, which I think this is also a bit of a course correction when we think about class anything that didn't have a predicate could be a class 3 PMA, right? So like historically, and de novos.
Before the direct to de novo.
Right. And I think, and a lot of folks were like, well, let's build the moat. Let's just do a PMA and then we'll now own that. Like essentially we've now set the bar even higher for other companies to try because they can't use this as a predicate. And so this is sort of the course correction of like, okay, these things probably should have been de novos or class 2 from day one, but they weren't. And so let's fix it. So we got some others in here. There's some in vitro diagnostics. We really need to get Josh back on here because I feel like he needs
With a
to just,
working microphone.
yeah, with a working microphone. He'll instruct us on all the IVD stuff going on in the world. And then also stimulator ultrasound muscle for use other than applying therapeutic deep heat. Didn't know that was class 3. And so there's 8 of them. I'm gonna put the link in the chat.
Yeah, there was also kind of along with that, there was a bunch of things that they added or dropped to accessories
Yeah.
into class 1, which I thought would one of them that was interesting because we've talked about before with the non-invasive blood pressure measurement system accessories
Hmm.
and what fits into the definition of accessories. I think it's actually just the tube connecting the blood pressure cuffs, which for some reason I think were considered part of the blood pressure cuff before, and if people
So
want to
you'd
make
need to have to
changes,
do a 510K,
you need
right?
five
If you
ten k
change the
every
tube.
time. Exactly. So, but the other one that I thought was interesting and I think potentially not thought the whole way through, maybe, were
Mm,
the ECMO oxygenation accessories. I don't know how much ECMO work you've ever done,
very
but
little.
so part of Pitt, like University of Pittsburgh, like the BioE program, a lot of us would work as like techs at the hospital. ECMOs are regulated really interesting where it's actually all the components of like the oxygenator, the pump, the tubes are all kind of regulated differently rather than the whole system. There have been some full systems that have also gotten through, but it's because you're pumping blood outside the body through tubes and things, clotting is a huge issue. So the tubes and the materials kind of really matter in every like fixture and screw and things like so down classifying this unless I haven't looked through the whole thing, so maybe it's just like the wheels on the cart, right, are now
Yeah,
like
because
class
well, it's
one.
not. Yeah, it has no contact with blood, and that is used in an extracorporeal membrane
Okay,
oxygenation circuit. But
so maybe
I
it's just
agree with you. Sometimes things are like they're not blood contacting, but I always tell companies like get ready if FDA is going to ask about leaching or if there's something that is ending up in the blood contacting areas.
yeah,
Um,
like the pump needs to work. Is that it's well, that's the electrical part. So maybe it is pretty. Uh, there's I'm trying to think of what might actually fit into that right now. So
you told me that they're like the same as like your fountain pump or like
yeah,
pool, right? Like that's so
they're
crazy.
like go to Home Depot and buy a pump for like an outdoor pond or like a big fish tank, and it's basically the same pump as ECMO and oxygenator and dialysis type machines too.
We should learn how we need to understand the fundamentals of these. I think you and I could maybe do like a survival, you know how they have like those like the militias will do like training to make sure that you can
Yeah,
survive during the apocalypse. We could do like here's how to make basic medical devices with like the things that you can find at Home Depot.
I'll say that I don't know a lot and I don't get invited to cool conferences, but this knowing how to build a pump and how ECMO works is the one thing I actually do know. Yeah,
Okay, you're gonna
yeah, that
be
part I
in
got.
my in
Yeah,
you'll be in my
in the
base camp.
survival, yeah, in survival base camp. Got it. Got an invite.
I think we should do okay, this is your
Dad jokes and pumps. Got it.
dad jokes and puns. I think Reg AF is gonna have to be like, we're gonna have a series called like how to build it or something, like fundamental technologies of
I'm about to go
apocalypse medical
way
devices.
off topic, but on this topic,
It's okay, it's just us.
the show Alone, which is on Netflix and on Discovery Channel, like we binged through that. I shared it with one of my
Wait, what's the show?
um, Alone. It's just called Alone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's awesome. They drop these like people off in the wilderness and really leave them alone, and it's like it's kind of a whoever survives the longest kind of thing, and it's a
I would
great show. It's
lose.
super fun. Um, but I shared it with we have a Scottish client, and the CEO of the company's called his name's Alan, and he was talking about how he's been doing a lot of things with his son, and I shared the show with him. Him and his family started watching it, and they went on like a week excursion in Idaho, him and his son, with like one of the winners of of the series, like a season that's hosting this thing, and he said it was awesome, and I'm super jealous.
Okay.
So shout out Alan Suddy. I'm still jealous of your thing. We'll put you in the notes. I think that's a great idea, and if you haven't watched Alone, Allison, and you're up at the
I
cabin, you should watch.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, it's fun.
I would lose those. That if I were ever on one of those shows because I have decided if the apocalypse hit, I'm one of the first ones to go. Like I'm gonna be dead in 4 days, you know, because it's like, or who was it? I think it was Kate McKinnon. She was like, I just want to live 4 days, and like if I can survive 4 days, that's good. But I'd
You'd
be
be done
gone.
in 4 days.
I'd be not. I'd just be like,
Depends.
I'm gonna go."
Kind of depends on what kind of apocalypse we're looking at, I think,
That's
for
true.
me.
That's
Yeah,
true. If it's a dad joke apocalypse, you and I are gonna
crushing it.
be we're gonna be survivors. Let's talk about um do we want to talk about the new commissioner nominee?
She sucks. End of discussion. I don't know.
It's my shirt today. It says, I hate everyone equally.
Yeah, and I said,
So,
except for her. She, she might be higher up on that list. No, I don't want to talk more about her.
we're gonna get canceled, dude. We're totally gonna think.
Yeah, you can at me in the comments. I don't. We did miss
Yes, her
something on
name is
the
Heidi.
yeah.
Um, look her up. Look up some of her articles that she's written. She is an MD, PhD, I think. She has her PhD from clinical investigation from Johns Hopkins, Bloomberg School of Public Health, and her medical degree from New Mexico School of Medicine.
And
And
it just
she
goes to
was,
show you that degrees do not give you good opinions.
no, they don't. Like, my mom is one of the only folks. I'm gonna brag a little about my mom. Like everyone in my family has PhDs except my mom. And she was like, "Ah, I can't believe," she's like, "I'm the one who didn't get her PhD." I'm like, "You're the smart one. You're the only
Yeah,
you're the brilliant one who decided not to be waste your anyway."
you were smart enough for someone to pay you with an undergrad. Everyone else had to go
Mm,
try harder.
mhm. Hashtag truth.
Yeah.
What did we miss so we can get off of
Oh, yeah.
Heidi Overton?
The FDA also on the digital stuff. We kind of jumped over to the classifications. I think this is super interesting. The FDA released a paper on digitally derived measures for clinical investigations,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
and there's a big like all day session next Thursday, where while we're doing our podcast. So they should have scheduled it better with us, but we'll accept it. It's actually really cool. They put out a kind of how do we use these wearables and at-home things and digital technology to use as endpoints and objective measurements during clinical trials, especially drug trials. So um, instead of saying you know, digital measurement is more than simply like software collecting data. It's like, can we say sensor, raw data, validated algorithm gives a derived measure, and then there's a clinical interpretation of that measurement. So it's like almost it's a digital biomarker.
Yeah.
I was, you know, there are companies that I've met at LSI and through things that look at like gait tracking and like
Mm,
passive gait tracking and like, okay, cool. Like right now they're saying we can measure gait, but if you can passively do that and that's a biomarker of disease progression or stroke rehabilitation or even as simple as like recovery from a knee implant, like are these things that you can show that drugs are working better or your disease is progressing, you're getting worse, and now it's time to go see a doctor. Those kind of things. I think it's like, um, I honestly think that's like to me, that's the most interesting thing that the wearables are used for is like, how do we take all this really new data that we've recently figured out we can capture, and how do we use it to like make better other products? And I think it's a cool thing. I'm really interested about the session next Thursday. Um,
yeah.
who was the
And I
person that
liked
posted
in
that?
the I think it was also maybe Annie.
No, this one came from you sent it to me, but I also had it saved to talk about it. Elizabeth Beth Konkowski.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I worked with her at FDA, did you?
yeah, yeah. I did too. I think I forgot that was her full name. To be honest, I knew her as Beth, and then seeing her on LinkedIn, I was like, oh yeah, that is your
Hmm.
full name. And so
Oh,
yeah, sorry,
you.
Beth. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel it, and I think I put the right link in the chat. But I was reading it earlier today and really understanding like it's one of the sections is called "Start with What Matters," right? Like a lot of folks will say like, "Look at this cool toy that we have," and they don't really know what to do with it or what metrics they're gonna get. But it's like, okay, don't start with the sensor, like start with the meaningful aspect of health that you want to understand or like with the disease, the indication. So yeah, happy to see some of these things coming out. Also, Paul in the comments dropping bombs that are making me laugh. I said I'd stopped at my MS because my wife said the D in PhD stands for divorce. That's so funny.
Uh,
Um,
one comment earlier from Kate though too, that they just when we were talking about exoskeletons that we missed was they have exoskeletons for running, hiking uphill for skiers to like help skin up, like if you're doing backcountry type stuff and you want to skin up the mountain, which is the term for going up the mountain in your skis, you put the skins
yeah.
on them.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you can go
Probably used
up.
to be real skins, right? That's probably why they called them that.
I would hope animal skins, but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah,
This
yeah,
is dark. This one's dark. Synthetic
yeah.
now. Thank you, Kate.
Good. Thanks,
Um,
Kate.
uh, I mean, also wheelchair accessories, but they're also regulated class two are the devices that attach onto the back of like a manual wheelchair or and to make it sort of an assist, like a
Like
power
a power
assist.
assist. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Um,
I guess that makes
because
sense. It'd be class two because if they didn't work, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And man, those, I mean, some of the wheelchairs are super heavy, like trying to get them up a hill. I had
Yeah.
one of my sorority sisters at Berkeley was in a wheelchair and paralyzed from neck down, and she we saw her one day and she was like, "I'm stuck," because Berkeley's on a hill, right? And so
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, my I ran out of battery." And so we were like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll push you up the hill." And she's like, "It's really heavy." And I pushed her up that hill and I was like, this is quite the machine. Like these things are no joke. I was like, huh. Anyway, many years later, I now have worked on many wheelchairs. And I was like, I know the ins and outs. Do you know that also there's an accessory, a gun rack that you can have on the back of your wheelchair? Those are also,
America.
there was like I was looking up 510Ks and there was like accessories associated with this wheelchair and one was like gun rack for your for your rifles.
Jesus fucking
Like,
Christ.
there's a device for that. There's a medical device
Yeah.
for that. All right, we're getting off topic. Let's actually those are the main I think those were the main points we had. I would love a few seconds to just riff about 510K summaries again.
Real quick before we get to that, because there's one thing I
Sure.
remembered that I didn't put on there, but we've talked the last two times about Tempo program,
Mm.
and I saw from
Oh yeah, there's a new
Acacia,
one.
there's a new one, Limbic. It's a mental
Yeah.
health company. I didn't do a whole lot of research on it, but I saw Acacia Parks posted about it, and
I
um,
love her posts.
I love her too, and they're usually really great, and so good for Limbic getting in there. And I also think like clinical AI for mental is a lot of people are going after it, and it's like got weird. It's an interesting space because it's been, they have there's the whole suit where Florida and I think Pennsylvania sued one of them for pretending to be a therapist, and people was leading to like suicidal
Yeah.
things. But then there's also like all this cool technology for different voice and eyesight and you know uh, you know breathalyzer like markers of depression and some of the clinical how you can get
I-
biomarkers, and it's
Yeah.
I think it's crazy like how much more signals our body can give off that like we don't really know how mental health really works yet either, and we're also
Right.
being able to collect all this data, so good use of robot brains.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, also you think about all of the dogs that pick up on signals that we are not good at picking up on, like the dogs that will tell you if you're about to go into insulin or like diabetic
Diabetic
shock. Like,
shock. Yeah.
yeah, and like I don't know, I was listening to something on the radio and this like dog picked it up on this kid. It was not the dog. The dog did not belong to the kid, but the dog was like staying close to the kid and like whining or doing its tell. And they were like, "That's so weird. Like this kid doesn't have." And they took the kid in. Sure enough, kid was like about to go into what is it?
Crazy.
Acid. Yeah, acid ketoacidosis.
Ketosis. So,
Hard words.
have you ever, so totally like, yes, the dogs can sense cool things, but have you ever known someone that's gone on like the Atkins diet? or like strict no carb and goes into ketosis, like it there's a smell.
Is there?
Yeah,
Like their body smells?
yeah. Like
Interesting.
it's like, I mean, at least initially, because you're breaking down so many different things, because you're not burning the sugars anymore. You're starting to burn
Yeah.
your fat at like and proteins at like a higher rate, and yeah, it's in the same way of like people who have different diets. You sometimes, depending on if it's not normal to you, you can smell more of
Yeah.
what they eat. I tend to like if I have too much garlic or like stuff, I smell like it the next day, like big
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah. I always feel bad when I went rowing this morning and I'm like when I've had garlic or like like a bunch of
too
Italian
much
food the night
wine or
before, I'm
something.
like, or too much wine, it just like comes out of your skin. But yeah, I did not know that about people on Atkins diets. I've heard it's
Yeah.
like their breath gets sweet, isn't it? There's
Hmm.
like a tell.
Yeah.
Um, I think dogs should be medical devices, so I could get one
Please don't let the
prescribed to
FDA
me.
please don't let the FDA regulate my dog.
Regulate dogs. Oh man, I love my dog. She's very geriatric. All right, can I riff for a second on
Yeah,
510K
let's go.
summaries? Another request this morning for, hey, it doesn't look like you as included a 510K summary in your 510K. Please send us one. And it's like, what? It's there. And I think reviewers are starting to just not want the automated one in eStar. So fortunately, it didn't end up with a technical screening hold or something, right? This is like we're pretty far along in the review, but it was almost like, okay, like we'll put one together. I used to get excited, when they'd ask you for the 510K summary or
It
to
was
make
almost you're almost
changes.
done.
I don't know, it
Yeah.
was almost done. And then now it's just like, no, this is housekeeping at this point, before you get your hold letter.
Unless we're already behind schedule, we've been creating them because the format
Yeah,
sucks. Yeah, I hate the auto generated one. I'm like, I don't want
yeah,
someone to look this up 3 years from now, have my name on it, and see this eStar generated one because it's not helpful.
yeah.
I want it to look pretty.
But I
So,
think there's companies that are like, yeah, I don't want it to be helpful, and
well, duh, yeah,
of
I
course,
get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Bring back the 510K statement.
Gosh, those
Those are
statements.
those are the worst. I hate when I'm looking through records and
I
someone
know.
has done the statement. I'm like, oh, I gotta submit a FOIA request. It's gonna take forever.
No, you don't. I mean, you're supposed to just ask the company.
Oh yeah, but that
Um,
like that ever works.
yeah, I was talking to my friend John Beasley last week, um, and he has actually the most. I use his example in the class that I teach, and I call it. The PDF is titled "The Most Beautiful 510K Summary in the World," and like that or that I've ever seen, because it really is like the way he laid it out, and it's just like so meticulous and perfect, and it says even like what part of the regulation it fulfills. Um, Maybe I'll drop a link to it because I use that as like the gold standard, and then I tell my class like put together a 510K summary. We're not going to use the auto-generated one, and you can use John Beasley's as your guide if you'd like. Um, yeah. All right.
From a
That was
rant to
rant
like
over. It
a
wasn't really a
yeah,
rant.
yeah,
Yeah, but it was more
that
just
was
like
more of a puff piece for John Beasley, but
that's
he's a
true.
great guy. So
Love you, John.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't
Anything
think
else?
there's.
Are we done? We done?
I think we're done this week. I was like, I was like, oh, we'll see you next week. I'm like, no, I'm not. You're going to Boston. I'm going to Philly.
Well, yeah.
Um,
So it'll be fun though, because I think our like TTKU next week we have a guest, and it's gonna be like right before I go on stage.
awesome.
So I might just nope out a couple minutes early so I can put my whatever if they
No,
mic me up or whatever. So
turn the laptop toward the thing so that people who want to stay on can. I'll get out because I got to
it's
get on the
true.
road to drive back to Pittsburgh from Philly. But um, is it Keith on next week? Is it Keith
Yeah.
Christopher? Yeah, heck yeah.
Also
Oh,
vote for me for
it's gonna
South
be
by
like,
Southwest, please. I'm
oh
putting
yeah,
the
definitely
link in
do
the
that.
channel. Please vote
Let's
for
put it
me.
on the. We'll make sure that Crystal posts it when she
Yeah,
posts
thank you.
or when they post the the summer here, because
It's a
they're awesome.
popularity
Thanks, Crystal.
contest, and I want to
It is
be
a
it.
pop.
I want to go to South
Everything
by
in life's a
Southwest.
popularity contest. I did share with my team, and I think a lot of them already voted too.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. They just
yeah,
have to click the little red heart. That's it. There's a
yeah.
little red heart, and
Well,
they
you
have to
you have
click
to
it.
create an account and
You
then
also have to
click
create
do.
an account. It's like 5 steps, and then,
Yeah,
yeah. So hopefully
but
people don't lose interest before they vote. Um, and then when do I see you next, man? Are we gonna hang out at you're not going to Raps.
no, I'm not gonna go
That's
to
right.
Raps because I'm gonna be in the South, but I'm not gonna be there. I've got a trip to Alabama for family, and then Carolyn's got work trips. Um, I think that we'll figure it out. I
Well, I'll
I think
definitely see you at
actually,
Reg AF.
and Orange
Registration
County,
goes live. Registration goes live September 1st.
yeah,
So,
the Orange. I got something in the mail yesterday that the Orange County reg people wanted me to come to something. So that one that you're
ooh,
talking about
yeah.
I might be invited to that. I might see if I can make it. So I might see you there.
Yeah, come. It's
Yeah,
gonna be so fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I will. It was either that or an SD ran one in October. I can't remember which one it was, but
Well,
I'll
I'm
follow up with
gonna,
you.
yeah, dope. All right. Thanks, everybody. Keep
Yeah.
keeping up. See you next week.
Talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hold on, rewind. What did they say? Allison and Nilo just winging away. Regs and guidance, we'll try our luck. Just two folks out here trying to keep up.